Hello everyone, Agion here, another company to replay. Spawn on the right side as the OKW player, we have Stormjäger. Spawn on the left side as a bunch of... Is that Chinese? I really don't know. I think that's Chinese. Characters. Yeah, I still don't know. I really don't know, but we do have, looks like conscript play over by the Soviet player. We do have just Volks play by the OKW player, so that's quite understandable, quite reasonable both sides. I haven't really seen this map before. Is this one of the new maps? I don't really play 1v1s all too often. I generally prefer 3v3s. I just find that a bit more fun. But either way, let's see, potential doctrines. Elite armor? I can see it. The 221 could potentially help with field control. The Stormjäger is just unreliable for me at the moment. Luftwaffe ground forces, Suppulsion makers are always reliable, and ground offensive, always good doctrine as well. Over here we do have tank hunters. Highly unlikely. This doctrine's just weak. The conscript PTRSs are just... They really give the anti-infantry damage, and the conscripts need every rifle they can get, hence the 7-man squad upgrade being so effective. Oh, and it looks like that Stone Pioneer got called out by the conscripts and the combat engineers try to get this cutoff point. Good try. He does pull out without losing any models, but he is a bit wounded. He may lose a model before he can get a good engagement off, so he has to be very careful. We do also have the airborne troop tactics. I really don't like the design of the doctrine. Primarily how... Oh, adds in a rally point in a doctrine that should be non-doctrinal. Or nobody gets a non-doctrinal sort of thing. Airborne guards, they're good, but they're overpriced, to say the least. And I don't really... The one thing I don't really like about the recent patches, they've been adjusting units, and rather than giving them a unique role, they've been sort of just streamlined. Like, for example, Panzer Fusiliers. Their 5-man squad with Car 98s are available at Tier 0. Guess what else also is a 5-man squad at Tier 0 with Car 98s? Volksgrenadiers. At that point, it might as well just be more potential upgrades for Volksgrenadiers rather than just having Panzer Fusiliers as its own unit. Airborne guards are just basically uses a sniper model, and they get DPs to fire on the move, or the PPSHs, a full squad of PPSHs. What else is 6-man squad of PPSHs? Shocks. What else? And it's a unique version of guards, not even a unique name for the DPs as well. I really don't like how some of the new doctrines are. Weapon crate. I prefer just like, oh, drops one weapon, but for penals already have that weapon, so PPSHs instead. It's one of those things where it just seems like a bit haphazard. And Paratrop Dishka, it's alright. And Airborne Rally is a bit problematic, seeing you have to drop medical crates, which I believe is actually more of a permanent upgrade and allows them to continue to re-heal passively, but still. Doesn't feel right. If the airborne rally point will have medics, if you get the medic upgrade, that seems a bit more reasonable to me. Plus, the airborne guards, another thing I don't like is how their Vet 1 ability is called an airstrike. I really don't like Vet 1 abilities, or even doctrinal units that brings in other doctrinal abilities such as reconnaissance or artillery, such as like the off-mass smoke for the artillery officer. Well, the off-mass smoke is probably a bit more fine, but how there's a mortar barrage goes along with it. You got the WC-51 that can also bring in a marked target and an artillery strike. It's like, really? I really don't like packing more like these commander abilities onto units for already in a doctrine. It's just one way to expand the number of ability slots by that amount, such as like the WC-51 having 2 special abilities. That's me being a bit over-critical and not really into the game. We do got the Volksgrenadiers in this nice house here. Conscripts in behind the heavy cover, though they're a little bit around the cover. I think he needs to get on this side in order to actually benefit from the heavy cover entirely. We got conscripts here. We got the northern 2 points not captured, but it looks like he's now capturing up now. These conscripts will not be on heavy cover. We do got more conscripts over here on the flank. He did get the cutoff point here, but only cut off one standard point, so it's not super great. Does pack in the other squad of Volks, which is not entirely bad, because there's a lot of windows here, and he needs a lot of windows fire out. But now seeing his other units push away the conscripts here, he can de-garrison at least one squad. And he's actually not captured the point, he's actually going straight for an assault, trying to push away these conscripts. A bit blobby in his movement. Actually gonna take this two-man squad, retreat back to the VP and secure it. You got these conscripts on the flanks. He could jump in this building, that would be quite good, but the Storm Pioneers are in the area. He needs to displace them before in order to get any successful engagement. Looks like the six-man squad will go and jump in the building. He needs to focus the Storm Pioneer. His other conscript squad probably should move forward and help out. But he decides to go off of this cutoff point, but once again, it was only cutting off a single point, not a non-special. Oh, he will lose that squad. And he lost the squad. You got the combat engineers now upgraded flamer. Nice cutoff here. That actually prevents not only a single point, but as well as the fuel and the munitions. And he also cuts off the VP! You will lose all the resources gained from it. That was sarcasm. Sometimes, a lot of people don't realize I can make jokes as well. I'm really not one of those joking type personalities when I'm in the workplace. Does a nice merge there with the combat engineer, trying to make sure that flamer is up and going. He does lose another model. He does throw out an incendiary grenade right then. No, that's actually a stun grenade from the Storm Pioneers. We do have a T-70 on the build queue.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Looks like the first set of STGs have been upgraded. Neither player has chosen a doctor just yet. That squad is very close to being wiped and may in fact get wiped. There's some negative ground right here. It does manage to skip out there with even two models. I was surprised if he was even get out with one. We got another assault coming out. He's now reinforced, rehealing. Hitting the cutoff points is quite nice.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
None of these units are quite low. There's only 3 members left, pretty wounded. Storm Pioneers are very wounded. T-70 is almost out on the field, and we also... Oh no, that's Panzer II. I'm looking at the wrong side. That's sort of annoying. Soviets, let's put the blue player over here. Blue player, let's put the red player over here. So I completely butchered that up, because I saw the cannon was like, oh, wait, that's not a T-70, that's a Lux. Out of curiosity, why is it that all the German tanks are named after cats, excluding the Ferdinand/Elephant? And the Lux is another name for, I think the German name for a lynx. And of course you got the Puma, you got the Panther, you got the Tiger, the King Tiger. Also you got the more modern Leopard or Leopard. I have my headphones on backwards. No, I think now I'm wearing my headphones on backwards now. It's one of those moments where I'm trying to listen to left and right where the sound effects are coming, but they're actually coming down. Yep, I was wearing them correctly. And it looks like we do have a doctrinal lock-in of the King Hunter Doctrine. We do got the... On the landmine, he come down, but he gets spotted, and he hasn't canceled it. He almost went down before that. One squad of PTRSs, and that... Anything more can be problematic, actually, to his fighting capabilities. Do... Potentially could see an ML-20... He's a bit far away from the VPs. He does have a lot of fuel. I just realized he hasn't teched up once. Not even to tier 1 or tier 2.
Of a sector.
So there's no possibility exists right now, or Maxim, or Sniper, or Scout Car, or Penal, or anything. Definitely tier 2 is his best way to go since he doesn't really need Penal PTRSs, or a Sniper, or a Scout Car at this point.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
Not getting some nice pitching, some free damage right there. So do got a stun grenade right there. We have AT grenades. We do not have to research AT grenades. But of course, upgrading with PTRSs means he has access to AT grenades. But with the 3 PTRSs on the conscript squad, he can ward away the looks, no problem. But killing it is another matter. He doesn't want to upgrade all of his squads of PTRSs because that would be way too expensive and it would hamper his fighting capability significantly. We do have MG34 out on the field. Very nice, very effective versus all the conscripts. And nothing but conscripts. Oh, looks like we do got a structure here. He does have enough manpower and fuel for the... There we go. And he actually had that queue up. He has actually enough manpower to tech up again. That may be a good idea. Though, getting SU-76 wouldn't be half bad either. E-70 could be good, but it's a bit late for that. And SU-76 will help him ward away against, say, Panzer IV. And we don't have a battle group HQ out on the field, not one I can see. So we don't have any healing for the OKW. That explains all the low health squads. He could throw Incendiary across the way, but with the looks here, he can probably just gun them out. Getting inside the building would be quite good in order to help fight these conscripts, because he's too low in health to rush forward like this.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Overall, the VP control is relatively similar, slightly in favor of the OKW player, but currently the capture favor is in favor of the Soviets.
Ready for order. Supply half-track is in action. Standing by for setting of command post.
G34 is setting on up. The Pioneers once again, not Pioneers, Combat Engineers denied the mine. And a mine right there would help destroy the cover right there.
Ready for action.
Hasn't actually jumped in this building, but would allow him all the rifles, because there's only 2 windows on this side. Where's that 3? Oops. That is Shadow Play. Actually, there is a 3rd window there, but it hasn't... Oh, it finally now gets broken? How on earth did that not... not get broken early on, because the Volks were fighting that window and there was like 2 squads of Volks. I'm sort of surprised. We do got the T-70 here, but there's Faust Stager right here, but we do got conscript first squad. 2 of them have an upgraded PDRSs. I would say that would be the maximum number of squads who want to upgrade PDRSs. The PDRS upgrade will also deny the 7th man squad upgrade because it requires a 1 superior weapon slot. Even a picked up weapon will help deny that upgrade potentially. So we could upgrade the rest of squads with 7 man, which would be a good combination tactic. T-70 wounded, decides to go on back on home. We do got the combat engineers, looks like not moving. Looks like he's just actually rerouted the southern side. Actually trying to engage these 2 MG34s. The 2 MG34s is probably a great idea versus all of these conscripts. We do, in fact, it does does force a response of a mortar The cannon warfare is very close by. The T-70 can take only one shot before another shot will take him out. Conscripts are currently pinned. He does not have the Molotov upgrade. We do got a Puma here, and I only saw a vehicle there, and now I realize it's actually a Puma. At first I thought it was just looks coming in pitching some damage, but no, it is actually a full Puma. And we do have still no battle group HQ. So maybe he's going to plan to get the battle group HQ, then go for King Tiger, maybe? Or maybe he's just not going to go for medics whatsoever. If I remember correctly, Vet 5 still gives him access to passive healing, so maybe he's trying to stall out till Vet 5 Volks. I'm not sure. Conscripts in this building, a lot of windows here. Does throw out an incendiary grenade. Conscripts will, of course, be forced to fall back. We do... Oh, flare mine. Very nice. I always like seeing the flare mines. So cheap, so effective. Do have enough fuel. He has actually teched up. Is he going to go for SU-85? I would... Well, actually, no, he has not teched up. He should tech up. Unless he's planning to just use SU-76s and ML-20s. He does have enough VPs for an ML-20 as well. Maybe we'll see an artillery. Artillery would be great displacing the Vickenwerfer as well as the two MG-34s that we know are out on the field. So there's a lot of good targets for, as well as just trying to get some good shots onto the Volks. Though the ML-20 doesn't really perform all too well, even though it does have higher damage. I believe the LF-18 only deals 160 and the ML-20 does a full 200. But I could be mistaken about that. The ML-20 just feels like it just doesn't perform all too great. One, because usually fight against Austere, they have a lot of off maps to wipe it out, such as stupid dive bombs. OKW doesn't really have a huge amount of off maps like that. Nothing to nuke it other than the Panzer Commander.
Supply lines have been cut.
So the ML-20 could potentially do some quite good. How it's placed could potentially be irreproachable. Puma showing its rear armor to the S. Oh! We got the grenade assault. That was great. And he force fires the ground. We got a nice shot in and kills off the Puma. That was an excellent anti-tank assault grenade. Was that guy camouflaged right there? Because he backed up straight into it. We got the Looks now moving on forward. Main gun destroyed on the T-70. The Looks will have trouble, needs to hit the rear armor, but the cannon whipper does get the kill. Does get another anti-tank rifle grenade assault off. Now he just needs to pick it off with the PTRSs. He got a second squad PTRSs here. Should just go ahead and ooh off forward in order to help close the gap instead of trying just to force fire, but he does get the kill anyways. J-34 pinning down some conscripts. We got the PM-41 ready to fire, most likely barraging this MG. He has spotted the Sheer Panzer quarters, is barely just in range. And does force a pin and force back. Looks like the mortar is engaging it, does get some nice damage. Goes off the model. This house is very close to death, so that PM mortar, one good shot takes it out, but I would say at least two shots to destroy that building entirely. MG-34 reset up here, will suppress that squad, no problem. Maxim is forced back. We do have a T-34-76, very, very nice. T-34-76 very good versus infantry, and his opponent only has infantry. Let's see, we do have still only medical crates. It's a bit far away in field. That Puma did set him back a bit. The Puma didn't really accomplish all too much, honestly. These squads need to fall back, they're just going to get ripped apart. The combat engineers still back will go down. The Shield Pioneers going around the corner. Those only 2 members, and the combat engineers does in fact go down. Losing that combat engineer is a bit problematic because this is the only source of repairs. However, they're very cheap to replace.
Gun is ready for action. We have a new T-34 standing by.
Now we do have a Zis out as well as the T-34. Is this interesting option? Go ahead and mute my phone for a moment. And we do Zis doesn't really have any targets engaged. He is actually starting to make a advance onto the sheer panzer quarters. If he kills that off, that would be quite valuable. However, his opponent does have access to the Tiger tank. So at this point, I would agree with a Panzer IV or a Jagdpanzer in order to gauge the T-34. And his opponent, now he knows he's against tank hunter tactics, which means you expect either Su-85s or T-34s. A lot of T-34s. So the Jagdpanzer wouldn't be a half bad idea. Panzer IV has really good armor and very good versus the T-34 as well. This squad's very low in health. The T-34 could wipe it out. Does wipe it. Nope, the conscript got it. This has been flanked. Maxim has been flanked. Mortar has been exposed. Really flank a mortar. Just run up to it. Let's throw Incendiary on top of Maxim, but he didn't necessarily have to retreat out of it because only the gunner was affected by it. The Sheer Panzer Quarter has seen quite a bit of damage, and we do have a Panzer IV. I do agree that is his best option at the moment. You got a Zis barrage coming in. T-34 is being pecked away by the Sheer Panzer Quarter as well as the Big Cannon Worker. T-34 has sustained quite a bit of damage, forced to fall back. Potential flanking squad there, but he falls back nice and early. While the VPs are in favor of the OKW player by 100 points, 108, 107, 106. Alright, let's stop. We do got the Zis and the Mortar now engaging. We do have the Panzer IV out on the field, so he doesn't need to, as nice as it is to have it, it's not imperative he must save it. Since he has a tank out, he can always wait for a Tiger tank or get a bunch of Pumas. Pumas against PTRS is not so great. So we do have some 7-man squad upgrades, a lot of conscripts out on the field. Does lose a PTRS squad. This is going to be Incendiary. Nope, he will force away the squad beforehand. You got the Panzer IV now sustain 2 shots. This has the huge fire, does merge within the last moment, does not lose a conscript squad. The Panzer IV is severely wounded, does lose this. Nothing here in nearby area destroyed, and the OKW player is forced to retreat. An Old-Slot squad would be quite nice, but he needs to reinforce all the squads. It's where all of his manpower is going to go into. And Sheer Panzer Quarters is a sneeze away from death. In all that engagement, I believe 2 conscript squads may have gone down. Can't remember if he had 6 or 7 squads. Another T-34 out on the build queue. He potentially may want to get another Vicaniwer to help deal with it. In other words, he has a lot of stuff to deal with at this point. The Soviet is in a strong position. Potentially could see a ML-20 still, but decides to go for another T-34, which will probably be generally a better option at this point. His opponent's on the he needs to be on the offensive. He needs to be more on the defensive. The T-34s will help him crush most advances. ML-20 is better against the person who's defensive. You got the Maxim now set up. Does not have the same fire on. MG-34 setup will start pinning down these squads. You have Incendiary Grenade coming down onto the Maxim. He will probably need to force back. Flare will help suppress that squad as well as the Maxim itself. Yeah, did the Flare mines cause suppression like the regular mines or no? Oh, and Maxim's dead. But the Volk squad also... Did they actually go down? I still see 3 alive. I'm not sure. Panzer IV is sustaining fire from multiple targets. 2 T-34s are out on the field, but there is a Pennyworth here to support. No Zis in the area. That may have been destroyed. Nope, actually, this is right in front of me. Never mind. Easily be destroyed. The OKW player does have some time to play around for some tickets, though losing the Panzer IV would be quite problematic. This T-34 is coming in for a flanking run. He is far away from the munitions for our P-BAF run. This T-34 rolls a bounce. T-34 does use incendiary rounds, does get a nice penetrating hit there. I think 2 shots will are necessary to take out the Panzer IV. The MG-34 will most likely get decrewed. The Pennyworth has not responded to the T-34. Does get a nice snare right there. Ooh, but that was a good shot. Though he does have the capture Zis still. But the Pennyworth will most likely go down. Does go down. Panzer IV being very aggressive. Has to be very careful. Does get a nice shot off the rear armor. T-34 rotating its turret. Does roll a miss right there. He can potentially get the T-34. Does get the T-34. The other T-34 is still alive. Does roll a bounce because the OKW Panzer IV does have quite a bit of armor. Does initiate a ram, but does lose the T-34.
The enemy has silenced one of our anti-tank guns.
The Soviet player is still... Okay. Playback ended a bit early. While losing both T-34s, I'm assuming the OKW player actually won the game, but still a lot of time. Both players still had 300 tickets. The Soviet player still generally had a better position. Could have got some Su-85s instead. But I don't know. Maybe that's a bit of a rage quit. This is Agion saying thank you for watching and signing off.